in Oklahoma. Yeah. And then another question, the last one is, these 6 inspections that they have throughout the year, are those unannounced inspections, or do you tell them before you come?
I better get him the mic on this one, right?
Let's address the first one first, or the last one first. These inspections are completely unannounced. They can show up at any time, night or day, on weekends, it doesn't matter, or holiday, it doesn't matter. When they show up, they have full power and authority to conduct whatever inspection is necessary. They also, the inspector will, if we receive a citizen's complaint specific to a permit, we will go out and investigate that complaint, whether it's health and safety reclamation, regardless of what it is, if it's a blasting complaint. We will go out and do that separate from the unannounced, the 5 or 6 that are required. And I think your first question was, is there any guarantee that the mining won't start before the administrative review? Ma'am, that is a question that probably needs to be addressed to the hearing examiner. I'm hopeful that will begin probably within a week, 10 days. That's kind of what we've been told. That goes through the Attorney General's office. This is an adjudicatory situation, actually a legal proceeding, so it's handled through their office. We've been in communications with them, and they have indicated they've given us a time frame. And as to what, I think I've also told you that the producer has agreed to not start mining yet on that permit. I believe that it is his intention not to start mining. And then you asked what is the percentage of mine sites that are left unreclaimed in the state. I do not have that, but I can tell you it's a very small amount. There are some, unfortunately, there are some businesses that simply just go out of business. They just leave town. I described that process to you. The permit is canceled, vacated, and then we take the bond money once that has happened, and we can apply it to the reclamation. Sometimes there are some legal proceedings involved with that, unfortunately, but we do it as quickly as we can. COVID has kind of hurt us with that because the state would not allow us to meet in a certain amount of people. So those kind of got for the last 6 months that we've kind of have fallen back. But hopefully this summer we can get back with the forfeiture proceeding, and we will get started back on that.
Yeah, I did tell them there wouldn't be more than 10 people here, okay? Rodney, I guess I got a question here because I hear a number of things up here that people have asked, and they've addressed it, that we've not been able to really get into the issues of it. It's kind of surfacing. Heather, we had a meeting here before with the fire departments, and then went up to the Capitol and had a room reserved with the senator, where we had probably, 8 people? That's where you got your answers. And I want to tell you that when we do end with this, we need to come up with what questions you did not get the answers for. And if you contact me, I've already reserved a room for the pro tem's room because I figured this would happen. So do know that if you don't get a solid answer, be sure you've got a spokesperson. Do you have a spokesperson for this group? Is that you? Yeah. Okay. So what I'd like for you to do is come to her with those things and let her get those down, so the entities that you did not have here, that we can pull them into a meeting like we did at the Capitol on the fire departments. And I think that's where you really get your answers. But this is the first step of it. I think it's a good one. So that would be okay, wouldn't it? Yes. Okay.
I would like to go ahead.
Again, my name is Dawn. Obviously, everybody knows which side of the fence I ride on. I wanted to ask, is there going to be any kind of compensation, legal, financial, or otherwise, for falsehoods, trespassers, anything of that nature? Because anything whatsoever to do with the rock quarry on my private property. financially for any kind of falsehoods that are levied, any kind of trespassers, anything of that nature that has to do with, again, things that are said or done in regards to the rock quarry that's on my property.
Ma'am, that would be a question that you would need to address with an attorney.
Okay, well,
Which I have not.
okay. Well,
No, I'm
as
gonna
far
stop that one right there. You need to get on that list. Claudia Thompson.
Okay. I meant as far as my,
I had 3 questions, but she answered my one. On the inspection part, do you guys use any kind of dogs, like to smell for explosives or anything like that? Because if you guys show up and they exploded something 2 weeks ago, you're not gonna see that.
Know that for a fact.
And my second question is, when you have a good company like these guys, who are doing what's responsible, who are doing what needs to be done, do they get a boost up or a check mark saying, hey, these guys are doing it the right way? They can get another quarry permit, and the ones that aren't doing it good don't get another quarry permit? Is that part of the problem, or?
thank you, sir.
Let's just address the last part of that first. We treat everybody the same. Danny does a really good job. Quality Rock is one of our leading dimension stone producers. He does a good job. But we treat everybody the same. We do have, and in the past, unfortunately, it's just true with anything, we have some bad actors. But we know how to deal with those. We have dealt with them, and we will continue to do that. As far as, no, we do not have any explosive sniffing dogs. We don't have the resources for that. But I will tell you this, blasting where it is not allowed is specifically, that's a big deal to us. Because blasting, when it is, when it's done the wrong way, is very dangerous. So, anytime that you suspect there has been unauthorized blasting anywhere in this area, all you have to do is pick up the phone and give us a call. Mr. Mathis or myself will come out and we will investigate, I promise you. Blasting is a part of mining that's very dangerous and is very closely controlled. So anytime that you suspect that it's happening, like I said, there's only one quarry in McIntosh County that's allowed to do that. So if you suspect that it's being done, just get a hold of us and we will address it.
Russell Privet. Russell?
Where's Russell?
I'm Russell Privet. I live in Lakeview Country Estates also. One thing I wanted to try to get cleared up on this, I don't know if it's a fee that they put down for per acre, $1,500 per acre. I was a little confused. Does that cover the road damage that they might incur to the neighborhood or to Dam Road? Is that all in this? I mean, both, because there's 2 main issues that we have. One's the road that we're about to get and the damage that might happen to it. The other is having the mine in our backyard, the noise and all the other things associated with it. So, I mean, it sounds to me from what I've heard from everything, we've got a lot of legislative issues that need to be addressed pertaining to a lot of things that are going on. You have this gentleman over here that he sounds like an upstanding corporate citizen, but obviously the majority of these mines are not. We hear blasting going on, and it sounds like the only way to correct that is to catch them in action. So I suggest, can you deputize this whole room? We'll be your eyes and ears and try to document that for you. But calling you the day or the afternoon after we hear a blast isn't really going to get us anywhere. But anyway, back to my original question. So, do both these issues that I'm concerned about, the road and the mining, if they don't come in and fix or reclaim it, as you guys refer to it, or they don't repair the roads, and they're only mining, say, 5 acres, we know that $7,500 isn't going to go very far. So, where's the remediation coming in? What do we do from there? That's what.
Sorry about that. Speak up. Sorry.
Regarding the remediation that you speak of, many of these quarries have more than one permit. And occasionally, if one of those permits gets forfeited, the bond gets forfeited, the other permits are in jeopardy as well. If they have 2 or 3 others, we can show cause those permits, because if one goes to forfeiture, all of the permits are susceptible.
Right, but my point is, that's still no deterrent.
Yeah, yes, it is.
They've got $70,000 worth of damage they've done to the new road, and, they've already put up $7,500 as a bond.
Well, that addresses the other question you had, sir. We only, the bonded amount only applies to acreage on the permit. We have no authority outside of the permit.
Did the commissioner
If
say that was
it
his
a county
job?
road, it would not apply there.
So is $1,500 an acre realistic, or is that going to get you the replacement that it's ideally set up to discourage? I'm sorry, I'm obviously not a public speaker, but
You're doing fine.
my point being is, it's not enough. They can come in and do all the damage they want and walk away from that bond that they left, and there's still money in it.
Well, not
If it was a real amount that made them, hey, we've got to take care of this, we've got to take care of this road, we've got to take care of the neighbors around here, there's no incentive to $1,500 an acre. And that's why I said it sounds like it's a legislative issue that Mr. Randall's going to have to try to address. But that's not going to, we know they're going to tear up that road. We haven't even got it put in yet, and
That's
You
the
guys have
county
anything?
commissioner,
No, who's
again.
next? Okay. One comment that you just heard just a second ago, that can be a legislative issue. There can be several bills coming out of what you're talking about here just today, and there's nothing wrong with starting that and getting that set up for the next time the bills come through, okay?
This is for Mr. Randelman. I think this is a legislative issue, and it's regarding the permit process. Right now, the only way you're going to know you have a mine in your backyard is when it starts happening. Unless you happen to read the county paper every day, the notice section, or you check the Oklahoma Mining website every day. That's the only way you'll know that a permit has been requested. I think that the surrounding property owners deserve some kind of notification, whether it's a posted sign or some way to know that a permit is being requested right next door to you. Because unless you check the paper or the mining website, you don't know. And the limited use permits that are out there now, when they apply for a lifetime permit, you're not going to know that application is taking place. You don't have a chance to protest it unless you read the paper or check the mining website. I think that permitting process is antiquated. Nobody gets a paper anymore.
I'll say this as I'm moving up here to Janisha next, is that you've mentioned a number of things that we could put in a bill. So these things here that you're listing can go right here. You're going to need about 5, 6 people, maybe a few more. You'll come to the Capitol and start talking because you'll get a lawyer in this area, what needs to be addressed, etc. This is the perfect time for it. You're like a year and a half out from it, but this is the perfect time to do it because it takes time to get a bill together. So doing that, and you know that I'm going to be glad to run it, okay?
My question, Pat, Hi. My question's actually for you. We've talked about all the things that ask questions about how things would be handled, government entities, regulations, and all those things that we want to know. But did you say that you had already started the process for filing to cease the activity? I mean, because that's what I'm here for. I want to find out what do we do to get it to stop and for the future. So he has said you file all that paperwork, you come before you have, they've ceased working until you get that resolved. What is that process and what's the outcome of that to be expected? How do we do that?
For what we're doing is a limited,
We bought this last year, so I can set it up.
this is a limited use permit that I stopped, or trying to.
Right, you're trying to stop that for this current,
Someone mentioned over there, I can't remember now, about life expectancy. That's what's usually posted in the papers. Limited use are not posted. I just happened to see it out my back window one day going on, and that's where I started making calls. But they told me to file a complaint online, which I did. Then they called back and asked for us to do for administrative review, which
That's
I
what I'm
filed
talking
back
about.
and asked for that. Then they come back and they asked us to do a temporary relief, and what I understand from that, that's kind of like an injunction to hopefully get it stopped.
Permanently.
So that they can hear it. We would go before an examiner. We did kind of a template, a lot of his residents, and sent it forward, and I'm not sure how many we actually have.
okay,
His examiner will review our
petition.
issues and stuff.
So if they accept that, then we go to the next step, because this is the process that we'll go through to get it to stop. How far does this go down how do we get it stopped? That's the reason we're here.
Best question all night.
Listen up.
Okay. It's specific to this particular LU that we're
Yes,
talking
yes.
about. That is actually a question for the hearing examiner. He will hear all the evidence
That's
that
my
is
question.
presented to him, and then he'll make a decision.
Okay,
Now, I'll be honest with you, we have over 500 LU permits the first time one has ever been tested.
yes,
So it's a process that is a little bit new to us. We're coming up to speed really fast on it. And we're working with the hearing examiner to get this done in a timely manner,
okay,
because we understand how important it is to. So, but the question is, can it be? That's a question that's up to him. That's up to the hearing
okay.
examiner.
So the process she's going through gets us to that point where an examiner will review that.
That is correct.
Okay, and then what Randy's talking about, I guess depending on how that comes, but of course what you're talking about, Randy, we're talking about changing rules and regulations if that happens, or for current mines,
That doesn't only stop here, it stops it
all over. But my question to Pat was, she's got the information to go through the process to get to an examiner who will review it. And then let's say that he says, nah,
They denied us last year.
Our whole street filed for the
Like 12 of us filed complaints.
Here, let me let you use this. So, no, from what you're saying, that is good, but you're at that point of getting an attorney and using that and drawing that up
okay,
for legal
who is
trial.
we and how do we? And who pays
Come
for
back
it
to
and
you.
who pays for we?
Give her the microphone.
Just a moment. So, we'll need to know, you'll work together on it or what? Because I know that was coming to you. Okay, all right.
Okay, so there is a mine that is on EW 117. It is the first street as you're coming down Dam Road. Go on that left. I am her neighbor.
Hold the mic up.
Our whole entire street filed this complaint last year, before the permit was given.
They just cleared the lane.
Yeah, they were
And that's this
working.
as you're coming off Texana.
No. We're a quarter of a mile north of the dam.
Oh, okay.
We filed a complaint, our whole street did. The lady said, oh, we'll turn all this in. The very next week, they said we've given them the permit. We had no hearing. This is the first time I've ever even heard the word hearing, because they didn't offer that up to us at all. And all of our neighbors on our street wrote a letter, and they gave it to the guy anyway. Did nothing, didn't even consider it. So my husband's going to tell you the next deal, how they keep rolling their limited minds each year.
Okay, so basically, it's kind of done in the darkness of night, so to speak. They'll put it in a paper, they'll advertise for 8 weeks in the local paper, and they give everybody a chance to protest or whatever, file complaints. If nothing happens, they just slide right into a 10-year mine agreement. It's kind of like when you get satellite TV for free for a month, and then all of a sudden they're charging you $199 a month because you didn't stop it. Okay, it's the same kind of deal. It just slides right in there. It's proactive. So they get in under the UL because it doesn't have as many conditions. Okay, and once they get it started, then they have to advertise in the paper for 8 weeks, and then go through a hearing, and then all of a sudden you've got that thing for 10 years, and it's 60 foot deep, and it's 10 acres. Okay, and so they're straight to numbers. We tried with about a dozen people last year, and we got nothing. So everybody's going to have to get together. It may come to a point where you get a pool and get an attorney, okay, that fights this kind of thing, and go after it, because they're not going to listen to a dozen people, but they may listen to 100. Okay, you guys got a good opportunity to stop it. We have to look at ours every time we drive home. I mean, it's disgusting. You know, and as far as the $1,500 per acre, there must be 10,000 yards of dirt piled up here around this 2-acre exploratory mine. I wouldn't even start my track loader for that. You know, you're going to have to raise it to $10,000 an acre to really make it have a bite or make them fix this. And I understand you probably don't give new permits to miners that walk away from it. I get that. Okay, but you still right
there.
around as you come, everybody's seen it. Right around as you come around the dam, there's that huge pit, and it's a long-term permit, and half the time they're not even working in there. And my thing is, we probably have to look at how many do we let them open up along this road
Exactly.
at a time.
Exactly.
I understand the business. I understand people need the rock. I'm a capitalist. But can we not limit at least maybe 6 going at once instead of 12 or 14? If what they're saying is true, that they've got 300 acres spoke for along the road here they're going to mine, this thing's going to look like Beirut.
Exactly.
I will make this comment to you. You also have Senator Thompson. He has a lot of power in that Senate. So I can see where this is going, and it needs to go that way. So you need to do what you can here, but you need to get that bill started, and we need to have that meeting like we had at the Capitol. Who's
Let's
next
do
year?
that.
Chris Beatty.
Who?
Chris.
Yes, do that.
One thing I've got that hadn't been addressed, we all know who owns the property, it's Stephanie Sellers. Now, if she didn't sell the property, she's just leasing it. Now, if she revokes that lease, it's a moot point, right?
Right.
I bought properties from her real estate agency, and I would think the easiest way to do it would be to persuade Ms. Sellers to revoke the lease. And if she doesn't want to do that, just don't do business with her. I mean, it's that simple.
Good idea.
Good idea, great idea.
Good idea.
Who's next, Jennifer?
Vicky Smith.
Go here.
Trying to take it from me.
Hi, this is Smith. I live on Lakeview Country Estate. Thank women for getting this started. And
Absolutely.
a lot of us would have never known if you hadn't done your due diligence, and we appreciate that.
Yes.
My next question is for the county commissioner. You said that you had assurances that they would not drive on our road into Lakeview Country Estates. Are those verbal or written?
Yes, it's verbal.
Because verbal is not worth fiddle's squat. I mean, what do you have to do to make sure it is written and enforceable?
All I can do is go back to Carson, visit with them, visit with the mining company, and visit with them, we can come to an agreement.
When,
And it will benefit everybody. I'm not here for Miss Sellers, I'm here because I was asked to be here, and I'm here to represent the people of McIntosh County District 2. And so I just want y'all to know, I didn't get to say that earlier, I'm not here for her or anybody else. I'm here to represent everybody in McIntosh County.
you will pursue the written agreement to not use our road, correct?
Yes.
Next, Jennifer.
Yvonne Miller.
Yvonne Miller.
Over here.
I'm Yvonne Miller, and I live up in East 1160. You started a mine then? You didn't? What was it?
Probably
Yeah.
okay rock quarries.
It's what?
Probably okay rock.
Okay, so it's not you. They left that place a mess. I'm sorry. You couldn't get in and out of our road hardly. A foot of mud for 3-4 months. That is not right. They used our road to go in and out of there.
That's true.
And it was pitiful. That's just not right. And what's going to happen if somebody wants to sell their house? That's just right down the road from me, and it looks like crap. I'm going to take a beating on it, okay? That should not be. And I know you don't care about my land, or our house, at all. And that makes me mad, and it makes everybody here mad.
Yes.
I think he wants to speak on this one.
Ma'am, that is not true. I do care. We're human beings. We do understand. I work for the Department of Mines, and my opinions are my opinions. They're not the department, and we're not going into that here today. But believe me, we do care. We do. We're not your adversary, ma'am. We are not. Our mission is to be fair in these matters. And our hands are tied somewhat. I know that the matter of the road, it's just simply beyond our control. I understand. I've been in mining for 50 years, and I was on I've been in the regulatory side for 19. I was on production side for the rest of that 50. So I do know, and I'm an Oklahoma boy. Born in Kansas, but I was raised here, and I do care, and the department does care.
Okay, y'all are talking about, y'all don't use the roads or anything, our roads to get in and out of these things. Yeah, you do. You used our road, and you messed it up, or they did. Totally messed it up. And I'm not the only one here. They could have hauled some rock in there and filled it in. You think they did that? No. They made us go through a foot of mud or whatever, and it was just horrible. So it's not right. And that's what y'all are doing.
Is that okay, rock quarries, is that right?
I guess it is. I don't know.
Our authority does not go beyond the mine perimeter, the mine permit. We have no authority on any roads outside of the mining permit.
So they can, all they
I can see a process right here, because what you're saying in all these different areas, if things are going on and you have that number and you have that company right with you when it happens, you address it, and then you got the attorney to go to. See, that's organization and putting that together. This is just the first step of it, but that's what you need in place for this area. Who's next? Lanny Lynn.
My name's Randy Randelman. I live on Latin Country Estates. And there's 4 people up front that are employees of the state of Oklahoma. You get your revenues from the state taxpayer. You've got probably 80 people in here on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock. We don't want this thing to happen. is quite obvious. We understand business is business. And, you know, and we all get up to go to work to make a dollar. And I understand these mining companies. But there's other areas that they can go mine in. We don't want it.
Right.
Can y'all, I mean, please understand us. But also, Mr. Randelman, we're going to ask you to carry the torch for us on this issue. We keep hearing about hiring of attorneys. Attorneys cost money. I mean, we just simply don't want this anymore. There's other places you guys can mine at. There's, you know, up and down. That's all. I know you're going to have to cut your own road through there, but it's just trying to use our county roads that we have been down there for 35 years.
Yes.
And now finally we're going to have a road that we can be very, very happy with. You can actually, 2 boats can pass on that thing without having to use the ditch.
Yeah.
And now here this is going to come in here and I know, I'm in the construction trades. And I know equipment is equipment. It's hot, hauling the product out. But if you're going to be cutting these permits loose, make them get off our roads. Get them up somewhere up off the road miles too. That way you cut the wrong road through there because they're going to be out some money. So we're going to ask you to help us out. We've all put our email addresses on this petition today. Nobody reads the paper anymore. It's gone by the way of the moment. But it's just simply, we need to be notified, otherwise we'll sign the paper. Thank you.
Let me mention this to you. If you have had any interest in my office, and you called my office, or you emailed my office, you are on our email that goes out every week. So if you're not on it, that's you. Okay? The other thing is that on this here, I will be behind you. I'm not an attorney. I can't take that as attorney. But if you're looking at trying to stop something, I can promise you, you're probably not going to get it without an attorney. So do know that I'll be there with you. There's no question. This is my area. I live down here at Eufaula too. I wouldn't want some of those things done in Maine, and I don't want it done for you. Did y'all want to address that at all, or had we already earlier? Yeah, we did earlier. Jennifer's next.
Justin Tyler.
Who?
Justin Tyler.
Justin Tyler.
I want to speak again. I'm just going to reiterate, everybody's in this for the same thing. We don't want our property values decreased. We don't want the noise. We don't want the hassle. So the only way you're going to stop this, because like I said, we've been in this for about a year, and we've had no luck. Pat has done a fantastic job getting this kind of people together. There is strength in numbers, but it is a law thing. And I don't know an attorney. We've been looking for one that suits this. But we're in. I'll donate money. I'm sure some of y'all will donate money. But I'm afraid the only way you're going to really take this head on is take it in the courts. And they don't want that, okay? You seem like a nice enough gentleman, and I'm a businessman over too. And if someone starts messing with the courts and me, I find some easier place to make money. And that's just kind of the way we've got to push this thing. We just got to make it where it's too much hassle for them to dig there and let them go find somewhere else that's not as much hassle. And that's the way it is.
I'm in.
Jen, who's next?
Angie Cunningham.
Andy?
Angie.
You're another one that's been very patient right up here on this front row, and we're not even taking up ties, okay?
My name is Angie Cunningham, and I also live at Lakeview Country Estates. And I know so many in this room, and we all had a dream when we moved down here. This is our home. These are our people. These are our friends, our neighbors. But when you have a company coming in like this, it destroys those dreams. I saw a large truck come down our road carrying a Caterpillar. It cut a road in this rock quarry right across from Pat's home. It was a big one. Okay.
How big?
Well, it's big enough to took up one of them big old trucks. So I'll tell you.
D9. D9, there you go.
And another thing, we have talked about explosives. I don't know if it's an explosive, but something makes a loud noise that shakes our house and rattles our windows. And it didn't happen until that rock quarry on the east side of the damn road come in. And now we got one in our backyard. It scares us to death because this is our future. We're too old to move anywhere else and start over. Please help us.
Who's responsible?
You know, one thing I can say, this is the first time I've ever met you all in my career here too. I've felt your sincerity about getting something done and helping these people, and I think they'll speak up. But do know, the very first thing is we need that meeting, Heather, like we had up there before, and then you be looking for the attorney. But that meeting needs to happen with Senator up there, definitely. Jennifer?
Right quick, respectfully, this gentleman on the green shirt, we are prepared to go to court. We have about $8 million investment over here, and we will defend it. I'm just not being ugly, I'm just saying that's our stand right now, that we will go to court if we have to. I don't hold it, I don't want to do that, I want to work something out, I want to try to get this done, but I just want to make it clear that we will litigate this if we have to, okay? I'm just being respectful to you,
$8
sir.
million in this room.
That is a bunch of scrap.
Kathy Baldwin?
We pretty much addressed everything I was going to say and ask.
That's okay.
One thing I did want to point out is you said you never had anybody contest these short-term permits before, because we don't know about them, and we don't know how to go about doing that. We don't get notified, and we don't know that we have recourse. So this has probably been real beneficial for everybody.
Yep.
And that was my question, was how we're supposed to find out in advance these things are going to happen.
They don't want you to find it.
You know, I think here you're finding out some avenues that you do have and getting organized, which I think is good, whichever way. Thank you, sir.
I am Bobby Cunningham, and I live in Lakeview Country Estates. And this is my wife, Angie. And my concern is who is responsible for the damage that's already been caused at my house. And I have a bunch of damage already. And then they're going to put that quarry, he's got a quarry in right at less than a quarter of a mile from my house. And that rock shaker, that makes a lot of noise, and it does shake the ground. And I'd like to know who's responsible for fixing my property.
Oh, no, but it's got $8 million. Oh, yeah.
Who wants to answer that?
Don't worry.
Sir, so far is vibration damage to your home, is that what you attribute your damage to?
Yes.
You attribute your damage to your home to vibration, is that what?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this particular LU, I'll repeat it again, cannot last on an LU. There's only one quarry here in McIntosh County that's authorized to blast, and that's the only quarry. So I'm confident that it's not been blasted.
From the rock pounder. I'm not saying they're blasting, I'm saying the rock pounder, whatever they use, that big old vibrating machine,
Yes, sir.
that is blasting.
Well, it creates ground vibration, I will give you that, but you're right, it is not blasting. We have no way to monitor that. And even if we do, there are no restrictions from using that particular piece of equipment. It's just not part of our purview.
Are there anybody you're going to give a permit to? Will you give a permit to anybody, no matter if they just come down and ask for a permit, you're going to write it?
Ma'am, sir,
You know, there's Robert's Cave over there, you going to do it too? Where are we going to stop at?
They will give it to anybody. Literally, not even kidding.
You said you had sir, you said you had 100 acres to quarry.
Eugene Kirkendall, where you at?
Why don't you do your 100 acres? You said you had 100 acres, why don't you do it there? There's a lot of gravy right there. Not to be rude, I'm just saying, I know you gotta make money and he wants to work. I understand that too.
Yes, I'm Eugene Kirkendall, I live in Blue Water Oaks, and how many quarries did they say existed between the dam?
Hey,
How many quarries did they say existed between the dam and Texana Road?
Seven.
Seven? And how many of them are operating?
without knowing which ones they are, which I'm gonna say probably up to 70%.
Does anyone know the distance between the dam and Center Road? How many,
It's like
how many miles?
4 miles.
4 miles. Imagine that, 7, 4 is 4 miles. How many of you guys live on that damn road and have to travel the damn road every day? How many? Just how many of you have to drive your family vehicle down that road? No, you don't give a shit. I mean, you know, and our new commissioner, I appreciate what he's doing on our road, and it really needs, I mean, it's a dangerous road, it's really dangerous. These truckers they don't care, they will run you over. My wife has almost been run over 2 or 3 times, and our truck property is depreciating, but we do appreciate what you're doing, and we hope you continue to do so, because I know you're going to have a full-time job.
You know, I thank you very much for the questions. I do know from the conversations and stuff, if a few of you want to meet with me in just a minute and actually set what you want to do and get it started, I think that's very important to do. And that was the last question.
Last call.
Okay. I'd like to thank the fire department for allowing us to have this forum here today. There is a donation basket. You know, you can't go anywhere without a donation. That if you'd like to contribute to the rental of this room, you could drop a few bucks in there, and that will help cover the cost of the room. Anything over the amount of what the fire department requests is going to be donated to the fire department. So there's also a blue and gold sausage over here that the fire department sells as fundraiser. You know, stop here and talk to the lady, and thank you again, and thank y'all for being concerned. Oh, good.
What's happening on the road? Nothing.
Yeah, tell us about when they're gonna finish the road.
I appreciate everybody coming. I'm gonna be sticking my neck out monthly to listen to everybody's concerns and things like that. I'm gonna rotate town hall meetings between Warren Landing Fire Department, Texas Fire Department, and the Youth Fall Library. The first one will be here on the 15th at 6 o'clock. So everybody's welcome to come, and I'm fair game. Yes, April 15th.
Okay, I got you.
Basket. You know, you can't go anywhere without a donation. That if you'd like to contribute to the rental of this room, you could drop a few bucks in there, and that will help cover the cost of the room. Anything over the amount of what the fire department requests is going to be donated to the fire department. So there's also a blue and gold sausage over here that the fire department sells as fundraiser. You know, stop here and talk to the lady, and thank you again, and thank y'all for being concerned. Oh, good.
What's happening on the road? Nothing.
Yeah, tell us about when they're gonna finish the road.
I appreciate everybody coming. I'm gonna be sticking my neck out monthly to listen to everybody's concerns and things like that. I'm gonna rotate town hall meetings between Warren Landing Fire Department, Texas Fire Department, and the Youth Fall Library. The first one will be here on the 15th at 6 o'clock. So everybody's welcome to come, and I'm fair game. Yes, April 15th.
Okay, I got you.